All right, here's an update from Grand Lake, the Toyota series. I found something pretty special so far in this practice. Of course, you still got whatever 4 or 5 days. What is it? There's a lot of time before the tournament starts, but weather should be stabilizing. It looks good. This could be a slugfest. I'll be totally honest. I don't have very much experience in this lake. I'm not going to put any footage on right now of these fish catches. I have a little bit of film because if somebody watches it and they get some kind of information from it, it could affect how I'm fishing. And then, whatever, I kind of want to win one of these things, or at least, do significantly well. So I will do that at another time when I'll do the practice videos. But this is just kind of like the preliminary. Hey, this is my gist of what's going to happen at this event. Now, I've never really been to Grand. I think I was there a Big Bass Bash once for like a day, and I just ran up that river there, Elk River, and fished there, and I lost like 2 good ones that could have won me some money. This is a number of years ago when I was down here. Sorry. To get back to it, I just got off the lake, so my brain's not really firing. But so I've never really been on this reservoir. So I went out there without any expectations, just kind of just feeling around. 2 days so far. Today is my second day, and yesterday I just went out blasting around. Caught one, didn't even think too much of it. Seen a bunch. There's a lot of fish in here. I'm using my live scope, and I'm like dropping some real finessey stuff, which usually works. And I'm like literally watching these fish like shy away or get spooked from it, or like I might have one that come nose it, and then he shoots off. I mean, they are real, post frontal conditions. And then today had like one chase a jerk bait. I'll just say that, I had one chase jerkbait. I had graphed them offshore. Bam, came up. Not just any jerkbait. It had to be a specific one. They came after it, and after that, I just went around and I kind of wanted to expand upon the fish that I caught on the first day. So I went down there, and sure as enough, I got one again. Then I was like, all right, I'm just leaving this stuff. I'll just look for similar stuff. Then I went and tried something. I wanted to go try something totally different. Ran up somewhere else and didn't do very well. It looked like it was going to get good because the water temperature was raising up. Then on the way back to where kind of something I checked out the first day, but I didn't catch anything, right? I could just see fish. I went in there and I tried to, repeat the same thing I was doing in the other spot that I caught 2 fish up there. So I was dinking around and bam, catch one. These are like 3.5 pounders, probably 3.5. Some of them are so fat and dense. I'd say they're 4, 3.5, 4 pounders, just to be conservative. Put that one back. I'm like, all right, well, I better leave this spot and see if I can, just wing a cast out the other side. Bam, get another one. It's about the cookie cutter size. So I'm like, okay, well, I better really leave this. So then I leave that. I go to another spot and I'm trying to replicate it just to make sure that this is kind of a pattern, right? Go down that bank, nothing. And then I go over this other bank, and it looks the same, right? Nothing really. And I'm not really hitting it that hard, because I'm not pushing on it. I go ahead and just whip. I'm like, I'm going to try this little area because it just looks good. This looks like what I'm doing. It's something I would do in a tournament. So I was like, I'm just going to go over here, wing a cast in there, and bam, freaking 5 pounder. And then after that, like literally, I just put the rods down and left. So I think I might have caught 5. I think I caught 5 fish today, but I kind of stopped and I wasn't really doing that. It's practice. You can't win practice. And this is like kind of me just trying to learn the lake. So normally I wouldn't have gone as far as I did today on a body of water that I'm more familiar with, just because I just kind of wanted to see if this was a pattern, and it was. And I don't know, probably had 20 pounds, pushing 20 pounds, maybe even 21 with, all said and done for today. I mean, it's nothing, you shouldn't brag about it because it's practice, but man, I felt really good. It felt really good just to fish and have one of those days. but it might be too good, and that's what I was going to get into. I'll have to do. What happens when pre-practice or practice itself is too good? It can actually get you locked in on something that, you know, might be detrimental to the tournament. You got to be flexible. So like what I'm doing is I think that actually fish are coming to me. So I think it should last, but we'll see. And we'll see how these other guys do. I mean, I didn't see anybody else really doing this same thing that I was doing. They were in similar areas in parts of the lake, but they weren't where I was at. Haven't ran into a boat where I caught any of these fish. And that's not to say there's not a whole lot of pressure on there right now. There's probably like 20 guys out there, or 20 guys there in the tournament. And then you'll start getting all the people that are showing up to pre-fish, and I'll be there too. But here's what I'm gonna do. So this is what happens when you do have really great things. You can keep an eye on those fish over there, but you don't want to stick them anymore, right? So then you go try to look for similar areas, or if you got a pattern. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look for similar areas, maybe around that area, a couple of those areas, but also in other parts of the lake, and just see if it's, it's a pattern that can be replicated throughout the lake, or if it's a pattern that's very area specific. So far, it doesn't seem that way because there are two different areas where I got this, but that late day thing, that could be a key. I haven't been there or super early in the morning, so we're gonna try that out. But look for this setting up. I'm thinking it's gonna be 20 pounds a day in right now, just from what I've seen, the quality of fish that I've caught. I'm thinking 20 pounds a day is gonna win this thing at least. So 3-day event, pushing 58 to 62 pounds for the guy that wins this thing. And then to cut a check, I'm thinking you're gonna have to have like 30 something. Well, actually no, because you get cut, right? So you're gonna get cut. So I'd say cut a check, you're gonna be in the 20s. Yeah, 20 pound, 24 pounds, something like that. Because it is tough. It's tough. I mean, you can go around. There's a lot of dead water, and there's a lot of, or not dead water. There's a lot of fish that don't want anything to do with you. I'll just put it that way. And they will shy away. Some of them, they're very sonar sensitive, I've noticed, because the live scope, they'll come right underneath that and they like feel that thing and boom, they're gone. So it's an interesting body of water. It seems like it's very healthy, a lot of fish, and but very, very stingy. And I think there's a lot of pressure on this, like a lot of tournaments. This is one of the most heavily pressured lakes, tournaments wise, I think, in the country. Grand is, and the facilities are nice. Now, will this set me up later in the year? I don't want to keep this video too long, but will this set me up later in the year for the NPFL Grand? Well, yes and no. We're talking about fall right now. Fish are coming in. This is spring fishing, and then that's fall fishing. And I don't know how to play that really. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but stay with me. I'm going to do I'll put the practice video up after the tournament starts. That way, just in case, things could change and it could just all be for nothing, but just in case that there is something here and this pattern holds out, in the next week. But there's some really beautiful fish, and the way I was getting them and with what I was getting on, it's kind of precarious, and you'll see it. Hopefully nobody else is really doing it. Peace.